Okay, I posted a video the other day. It was a bit of a rant. Didn't have much useful information for homeowners, especially ones that are behind on their mortgage or are already facing foreclosure. So I'm going to give you some information in this video that I hope helps. I'm going to post more videos, hopefully with a lot more data, what to do even before you get into foreclosure that may help you. But right now, if you're in a foreclosure, facing foreclosure, meaning a law firm has contacted you by letter and the house has a sale date, which means your house is going to be sold at public auction, which is how they do that in Tennessee. Public outcry, essentially. Courthouse steps, it could be at the side of the property, it just depends on the county. But basically, your house is going to get sold, and the new owners take possession. They usually send you a letter, tell you have to vacate the property within 30 to 60 days, and then they take possession of the property. So that's process. You may have 30 to 90 days before you actually have to leave. But most homeowners that I talk to do not want to give up their house. A handful don't mind. It's been a financial burden and they're just okay with giving the house up. But some folks who've been living there for a long time, they've got a lot of equity, and they're going to lose everything, and they don't have the cash to move. They don't know what to do, and it can be a terrifying situation, especially if you lived in a house for 10 or 15 or 20. Or I've had some folks lived in 25 years. They've been in their house, and they're about to lose everything in their mind. So, what I've been telling people is, as soon as you get that first notice on foreclosure, or even earlier, but I'll do another video on this, even earlier when you first get behind, you need to call your lender. Call them immediately, because over the last couple of years, laws have been passed designed to help homeowners that are behind on their mortgage. They've defaulted, they're behind a couple of months. Some people obviously end up in foreclosure because they never catch up, but you've got to call your lender. If you have a USDA, VA, FHA loan, any loan that was backed by the government, then they, by law, have to tell you your options, but they can't tell you if you don't call them. So just pick up the phone and call your lender, mortgage servicer, bank, whoever is collecting your mortgage payments. Okay. If you have a non-government backed loan, then you can still ask them. There are still relief programs. And in Tennessee, even more recently, as of January, there's $168 million available through the Tennessee Homeowners Assistance Fund. It used to be called the Hardest Hit Fund, but they've changed that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Call your lender, and here's what you want to tell them. As a disclosure, disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I've been in real estate for a few years. I've talked to a lot of people in foreclosure, and I've learned a lot. I've also stopped a lot of foreclosures by telling people to call their lender. I've got a story I can share, maybe at the end of this video or in another video, but call the lender, tell them what's happening. Hey, I see I'm in foreclosure. What are my options? Okay. Do you have a deferment program, which means they take the past due amount or the arrears and they just tack it on the back end of the mortgage, which means you'll pay it off, but not right now. Okay. They'll bring the loan current, they'll reinstate the mortgage, and you start with your monthly payments again immediately on the first of the next month or whenever they set it up. But those past due amounts and all the fees are tacked onto the back end of the mortgage. That's a deferment. A forbearance is similar. Forbearance is where they just simply postpone everything while you get things together. Okay, so you've got, say, 6 months. I think for a while back in 2021 they were giving 6-month forbearances. That gives you time to come up with the money, maybe do a refi, scrape together the funds in some way, or sell your house if that's what you need to do. But that's a forbearance. A forbearance can also have a deferment type of feature where they put the arrears on the back end, but then you don't have to pay anything for a few months. Some forbearances are good, and some, everything's just, you have to pay it all at once. It bottlenecks, right? So say you owe $6,000 in arrears, they give you forbearance, but when that 6 months is up, you got to pay that $6,000 or they're still taking the house. So you got to ask them very specifically what it is they're doing for you and ask them to get it in writing, whether by letter or an email. So those are the two options they can usually do easily. The other thing you can do is a loan modification. And it used to be that it was very rare that people would qualify, but I'm finding that folks are qualifying for the loan modification more and more frequently. It's not a refinance. What they're doing essentially is stretching out the term of the mortgage. So if you had a 30-year or 25-year, they'll make it 35, 40, 50, whatever, 40 years is what I've seen, basically. And that reduces your payment. It stretches out the balance over 40 years versus 30, and that usually makes it a little bit more affordable for the homeowner. But that's a loan modification. That can take 45 to 60 days to get approved, so you need to call them right away. Ideally, you've talked to your lender before the foreclosure starts, but a lot of people aren't. They're trying to figure things out. Boom, 2-3 months go by again, and now they're 5-6 months behind, and the foreclosure proceeding starts rolling. And it can go as fast as 6 weeks from the time you get your letter to the sale date. So, but I tell everybody I talk to, the most important thing you can do is to call your lender as soon as you get that letter, ask them what your options are, and get any applications you can in, even if they're, send it in concurrently, ask for the forbearance, the deferment, the loan modification. Get all that going, do whatever you can. So I'll post some more videos with some other tips on how to stop foreclosures and save your house. But that's the first one for now. I'm going to put my contact information in this in the comments of this video, and I hope this helped. So take care and good luck.